Hello and welcome to our today's live. That looks simple. It's so simple. It's so easy. But is it really simple or easy? This is the question what we are discussing today. And obviously, I got an inspiration again from my son this morning, and he really often gives me this inspiration because it's something which seems so obvious to us. And if you think about it a bit, then you realize, okay, actually we have the same issue in professional life, in our private lives, in business and sports, in a weight loss, wherever you're looking. It always looks so simple, but it's not easy to follow the simple steps. And this is something what keeps us from achieving our goals over and over and over again. And there is actually one word which I will bring in the end of this live, what will avoid all the things that we are not reaching our goals. And it sounds simple, but it isn't as well. So, and if you look for example, for business processes, if we are like, or let's start with the weight loss. It might be easier to see and to realize what it is when we take this example. So the thing what you have to do, there's two simple steps. You have to move more and you have to eat less. So, but it's easy, right? Like it sounds easy, but then it comes to the point where you have to do it and where you have to find your routine. So when you do your sports, if you want to move more, and it's in your daily to-do list, then obviously we know the word just do it. So just do it. It's in your calendar, just do it. But there are so many things that keeps you away from this just do it. So, and it seems always more important at this time than just do what you have in your calendar that you do the sports. So it might be that you are traveling, that you cannot follow this timetable at this day. So if this is the case, then it might be a surprise that you traveled at this day, or you did not plan the week proper enough that you really can follow what you have to do. Or there are some things coming in that you can't control. And what makes it easy, especially for often for moms, that they say, well, I have my plan, but if the kids coming in surprisingly they are sick, or they have other issues, or they have maybe a surprise homework you have to help them, these are always things that keeps you away from the routine. So building this routine is one of the most important things, and there are different things you have to set up for yourself as well. And let's talk about rules. So you have to set up some rules in order to keep this routine running. So if you know, for example, that you are not able to follow a specific time on each day, then you try to adapt it to your work. So just say, okay, during this day, I have this 3 goals that I want to reach. And ideally, you do it in the morning. So for example, when it comes to sports, I always thought, okay, I have to jump all in again. So there was no really, no acceleration, no level up time per time. So for me, it's all or nothing. And this is the same thing when it comes to diet or when it comes to nutrition. And this makes it really, really hard. But for me to really set myself up for a new lifestyle, for a new goal, is usually a challenge. So I challenge myself for example, for 10 days or for 30 days to make a setup. The last time, for example, I challenged myself to do fasting. And it was every second day basically eating. So every 36 hours you can eat for 12 hours and then you stop again, or for 24 hours. I'm not so sure again. So I did it for in July, August, and it was really setting me up for the next goal, that I really want to control what I'm eating again. What I realized is that the eating part of the day, usually like you plan your day around the eating times, okay, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, especially when you're when you have a family and when you want to keep the family together. Like you plan your time and what you're doing around this meal days or this meal times. And this is how I grew up as well. So it was really difficult for me not following this routine anymore. And now eating is not really like the priority thing. Not that it was like this before, but it's not that I focus on eating and plan around. So it's just if I don't have if I'm not hungry at this time, I'm not eating. So it doesn't matter if there's lunchtime, for example. And this is something what I learned because I learned to listen to my body again, and I was not following the routines from the outside. And this is something what you can do with every single thing in your life. Okay. My son this morning, he watched at me and I did something. And for him, it was like, oh, that's easy as well. It's not that easy. I'm following a specific structure and pattern that worked for me in this specific thing. For example, when he's doing math or something like this, he is really good with numbers. And for him, it's like, oh, that's easy. And then he tries the same thing, but it's not that easy because he did not follow the small steps before. The same thing happens when you are in sales. So in sales, there are a lot of people. They say, okay, I need turnover right now. So what they are doing, they're jumping in, doing everything what they can in order to make turnover. But at the end, they can't keep the follow up and the follow through because they did too much in the beginning. And this is a really, really big problem for a lot of people because they have this curve, they're doing everything at once and they can't keep the process running. And it makes it so much easier for you if you start small and have the patience. Really, this is really what breaks down, that you have the patience to be consistent with small steps. And then it's more likely that you will do it over a long term. And I'm not really a patient person as well. So for me, it's really tough to set my goals up, or to set myself up, to set my routine up with baby steps. This is not really my thing. But I learned on the hard way that it might be easier because then I can keep going it for a longer time. If I'm doing it like really like with a huge quantity, doesn't matter if it's like if I put a huge time on sports every week, or if I want to practice and work out every day instead of like I start with 2 or 3 times per week, or like don't take it so serious what times it is, and have it more flexible. It's like you have to find your own way. For me, the workout situation, for example, when it comes to sports, it's that I had to find the perfect routine for me. I know for me, sports is not really like something what I love, but I know it's necessary. So I'm happy when I can make a check at the end of the day on this part. And usually I have the best energy in the morning. I'm an early bird. I love to get up early, and especially then to get the things done what I need to get done. So unfortunately, before the school starts, I'm not able to do everything from this most important list. But what really worked out for me is doing the sports. And then I'm checking as well, okay, what type of sports I'm doing, because I can do different classes, or I can do a lift workout or whatever, or to go for a run or to go for a walk, whatever. For me, it's important to move and to do something for my body, and to have this energy to make it. Doesn't matter if I'm only do it like 30 minutes or if I have the time and go for an hour. But I set myself the rule that I at least go for 3 times in a week, and or 4 times when it's when it's possible. But I don't really try and like put myself under pressure to do it every single day, because my goal is not that I'm achieving something special in sports. I just want to have the energy and want to be activated basically for the day. So I try to keep it more intuitive in this way. Okay. And it took me a while to figure that out for me. And with this now, it seems simple because I'm just doing it what I want and I'm happy afterwards. There's no pressure, no negative pressure on me that I'm doing this. I set myself up and I make a rule for this. The same thing when it comes to sales. Okay, this is the same thing. So when you are in sales, then and you want to have a constant thing, then you have to get in to contact constantly people. So you have to have the strategy and you follow the strategy, you follow the process. And the golden words here are really be patient and consistent. You cannot push or pull something. You can push yourself, but you can't pull the others to you. So you have to do the work step by step. And this is like when it's from the outside, if you listen to somebody who's doing this, there are simple steps. It's easy to do. It's easy to copy. But the difference is like who is doing it like on a long term. And this is something you really have to consider when you do your plans, to make sure that you do these plans and you set yourself up for that you can do it on the long run. So everything is a marathon. So you are not sprinting the whole life. So obviously there are times you can sprint. And this is, for example, my times when I put myself to a challenge. And I challenge me from time to time in different areas of my life, in business, private life, and health or sports or whatever, to have a short success, and because I have a short-term goal, and I want to reach that. So this is a challenge I put myself into, but I make sure that I'm not challenge myself too often. That means I don't have like multiple challenges at the same time, and that I have really the time and energy to push it through and to not give up and to reach the goal. And if this is not the case, then I start from scratch. So this is something really, what I learned, because this being too ambitious is not good as well. If you are working too ambitious to a goal, it can have the other effect that you are basically worse than you can be, because you are I'm missing the word in English, but you're not doing this with a good energy, with the positive stress, and it can have the different effect, the opposite effect. So, and this happened to me, for example, when I studied business administration in the first semester. I was basically, I learned a lot. I had the feeling this is really a good phase for the tests and the exams. And at the end, it was my worst semester for the whole time, because I lost the fun. I just was too ambitious to have the good marks at the end. So when you have the fun level and when you do it like more with passion again, then it's easier to show your peak performance. And this is something really what it makes look so simple. The same thing, what people tell me, it looks so simple with our son, and we organize everything. Well, it may look simple, but at the end, it's not easy, because you have to change yourself as well in order to set everything up and to organize everything, that it looks from the outside so simple and easy. It's as well that we had to change our routine a lot in order to make it happen. So we had to we had to observe and to realize what's needed. We had to change ourselves to give us a new routine to make it happen and to set up the whole structure. And then the following, like to follow up and follow through and being consistent with this is another story. But if the setup is correct, then the rest is easy to follow. And if the setup is not correct, then you will realize that you start struggling with all the things that you cannot keep up what you actually wanted to do. That you, for example, if you set yourself up, you want to contact 20 new people every day. And then you realize, okay, if I contact 20 new people every day, in addition to everything what you do, what else do you do during the day, then these people might answer you as well. So you have the next day 20 new people as well, and then you have to keep in contact. So, and maybe you just have an hour time for having this task, okay, to get up to build new relationships. Let's say you want to build these new relationships for 1 hour per day, and you start with 20 people per day. This will, like, if you start doing this, the first week might be okay. The second week you might have some issues because you cannot find new people, answer the people you already contacted, and like get in contact with new people. So this might be in the second week already a challenge for you if you only have a timeline for 1 hour. So if you only have 1 hour, then start small. Maybe you don't set up yourself and say, okay, I do it 1 hour, or I do whatever I can in 1 hour. For me, it worked better if I say, okay, I start with 3 people every day. And then I have the time as well to take care of them, because building relationships is not like, rushing through everything. It's like really like make sure that you are building this relationship. And if you have too many people at one time, then you get distracted. You cannot hold what you promised yourself. And at the end, it's frustrating and it's not working. And everything what we do, and when it seeks, well, it's only simple steps. The most difficult thing for most people is to be patient, not setting yourself up to the maximum what you can do in this moment, but starting small, but be consistent. To have this, like, it was the biggest learning for me, to really like start small and be consistent. The same thing when it comes to investment. When people say, okay, I want to invest. And then they want to have the results right now, but the results in investing, they're coming, it's a long-term game. So especially when you're starting investment and you don't have that much equity, and you set yourself up for a long-term profit, then it's tough to wait and be patient and do every single day to whatever you can, whatever it takes to make it possible. It's needed to be set up this way that you can really run it, like that you can follow up on the long term. And this is something what I wanted to share with you today, that everything what you do, find yourself a routine, find yourself a pattern that you can really follow up and follow through on the long run. Doesn't matter, it does not mean that you can't do any challenges in between, and can you have a sprint in between or different sprints in between. But the new year is coming. So if you did not make your goals yet for the next year, if you set up your goals for 2024, then think about this way, what you really want to achieve and what you want to be more consistent in the next year, and how many challenges, how many sprints do you want to do next year, and in what area of your life you want to have it. So this is something what I want to share with you as well today, that you already think about what you can change in the routines, what you're doing right now. Why are the routines that you set yourself up, or the rules that you put yourself into your life, why they are not working, why it's looking so simple sometimes from the outside, and if you see it and make it yourself, it's not simple and easy at all. The steps might be simple, it's easy to understand, it's easy to do if you're doing it, but this if you're doing it is the difference between the ones who are successful and the ones who are not. So with this, I leave you for this week. I wish you a successful week, and we talk next Monday. Bye.